Hi, today I'm going to be talking about this book and why I recommend it to my artist friends. Hi, my name is Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years now, and I'm here to empower you. I have this book, and it's written by the same guy that wrote Steal Like an Artist. And I always share this, I always tell my friends, my artist friends, to pick it up and read it because it's an insanely good book for advice, for telling you why you need to get out there and present your work and show people your work and not hide it under a rock. And I know a lot of my friends that don't have online presences, they don't put their work up, they don't share any of their work, they do a lot of things for themselves, but they never actually put it out there for people to look at. But this book gives you the reasons why it's a good idea, but it goes on beyond that. It gives you a lot of really great tips about just being, producing and creating. One of my favorite chapters, and here's really the thing that really kind of blew my mind when I read the book. So I'm going to share it with you right now, because I think it's probably one of the best pieces of advice in the book. At least it was for me. But it's not by any means the only good piece of advice. I've got a lot of pages marked off here. So one of the first things it does, this chapter is called Work Doesn't Speak for Itself. And this is a huge piece of advice, because we often just think that when we just draw something and we put it out there, it's just going to resonate with people at the end, and the work is going to speak for itself. And this is not always the case. So here's one of the examples that he put forth. He really quickly, I'm going to sum up this bit. So say that you went to a museum and you saw a painting of a, what's it say? Painting depicting a harbor at sunset. And there are two paintings and they are identical, and the museum doesn't have anything explaining why there's two identical paintings, who it was from, what's going on, and it was driving you crazy and you don't understand it, but you love the paintings, but you just don't know what it is that makes them special and why they are completely identical. So, it says here, just as you go fetch a museum guard or someone who can shed light on this mysterious twin pieces, the curator of the museum walks in. You eagerly inquire as to the origin of your new obsession. The curator tells you that painting A was painted in the 17th century by a Dutch master. And what of painting B, you ask? Ah yes, painting B, the curator says, that's a forgery. It was copied last week by a graduate student at the local art college. Look up at the paintings. Which canvas looks better now? Which one do you want to take home? That's kind of a significant idea, especially for artists. What changed? Art forgery is a strange phenomenon. You might think that the pleasure you get from a painting depends on its color and its shape and its pattern, says psychology professor Paul Bloom. And if that's right, it shouldn't matter whether it's an original or a forgery. But our brains don't work that way. When shown an object or given food or shown a face, people assess it, people's assessment of it, how much they like it, how valuable it is deeply affected by what you tell them about it. That is a huge for artists. It's the stories. It's the story about the painting, not necessarily always or necessarily the painting itself. The craftsmanship could be amazing, but it's actually the story behind it. Okay? And that's very empowering as an artist. And I, as an artist, am all about empowerment. So what I do for my patrons, for my Patreon, the work that I produce, that's all about empowering you to be a better person, to make more money, to find ways to be to motivate you to do something that you love, that sort of thing. This is the stuff that drives me. How can you become a better person? How can you use gamification? All these things. This is the kind of thing that you get from this book, like this sort of profound insight, and it's all in small bite-sized chunks. It's not the big book. It's got big words, and most of the time there's just mostly pictures and things. You could read this in a night. So I highly recommend this book, and of course the other book, Steal Like an Artist. But this one also is an amazing, amazing book. You can get this book by clicking on the link to this book on the description of this video. And if you do, you'll be supporting me because it's an affiliate link. And thank you for your support. If you're afraid to put your work out there, if you're like, oh, what if people steal my drawings and my ideas? And yeah, read this book. It'll save you from yourself. and it'll give you reasons to share what you've got with the world. All right. So thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful. If you found this video valuable, I would like to encourage you to return value for value by becoming one of my patrons over on Patreon. Not only will you encourage me to continue making informative videos that are useful to you, but you get extra perks too. For only a small investment of $1 a month, you can get all new videos I create months before anyone else gets to see it. Also, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer as a patron, you get priority and I answer your questions first. On top of that, when you're a patron at any level, you become part of a raffle where I send original art via mail to the winner of that month. The higher your tier, the better your opportunity to win. Higher tier patrons also get access to any art I do in high-res JPEGs, and also full access to PSD files to any work I do, including the PSD files of these videos. Currently, there's a huge backlog of downloadable files you can get, so right away you're going to get quite a lot of bang for your buck. And the more patrons I get, the better these videos will get. The more content I can produce. In other words, the more you benefit. Please consider becoming a patron. Thanks. The link to my Patreon is on the screen and in the description of this video. And I'll see you next time. All right, bye.